Hello, I'm John, and today we have a model from ScaleTrains to look at, so let's head over to the workbench.
As you know, I don't usually show the whole unboxing of these things, but there's something about the ScaleTrains packaging that to me is very satisfying to open. As you can see, they have their protective foam, and the owner's manual or operator's manual, whatever you want to call it, has a really cool schematic drawing on the front and lots of information. It's just a really wide manual. As you can see, it goes everything from maintenance, lubrication, how to remove the shell, DCC instructions, DCC functions, and then more functions, as well as an area for notes in case you do some programming of your own. It's a pretty cool package. And so you'll want to be sure to go through all that and make sure you understand what it is and how it works. And these little, I guess, what do you call this? Is that a clamshell, I guess, or some kind of a clamshell? And the foam is, it's just a good presentation. I like showing those when we can because it's a little different from a lot of the other models that we look at here. So I'll get this out of the protective case here and we'll take a really close look at it. As I'm opening the package, I came across this bag of extra parts. So I'm going to set this aside someplace that's safe so that I don't lose them. All right, so here's what we're looking at today. In case you didn't already figure it out, this is an HO Scale-9. This model comes from ScaleTrains.com, and it's part of their Rivet Counter series. And tell you what, I was unpacking this thing, and it is heavy. Boy, that's the first reaction I have to this. It's a very heavy model. I expect that if you want to pull long trains, this was going to be a good option for that. Anyway, I'm looking at ScaleTrains' website off camera here, and I've noticed that these come as DCC ready or DCC and sound equipped. The one we're looking at is the BNSF Heritage I paint scheme, and it comes with the DCC and sound already added at the factory. The price for the DCC ready models is listed in their website at $243.99, and the DCC and sound equipped one is listed at $361.99. And as with most of the models that we look at on this channel, these are prices that are really just suggested retail prices. Even on ScaleTrains' own website, they have reduced prices on these. So I'm seeing them from $194.99 for the DCC ready one to $289.99 for the one that has the DCC and sound installed. So to be safe, you want to shop around. And I would also suggest to go to ScaleTrains' website and look to see if they have what you're looking for, because they have a lot, and I mean a lot, of different variations, not just of this particular model, but of all the models that they make. So starting off with the engineer's side, you can see that these are etched metal grills. And you can see up in here, this is also an etched metal grill. And I'll show you later how you can see fan detail through this grill, because it's open on the other side too, which is a pretty cool detail. Also, you can see over here that these are etched metal grills as well. So there's a lot of detail going on here. I do want to tip it up just a little bit. You can see the fan detail in here when I tip it up. But I want to tip it up because I want to show you all of this undersill detail in this model. Also the detail in the trucks and all up in here. You see all these little pipes and little valves, and it's just, there is so much to look at on ScaleTrains models. This is pretty amazing. And you can also tell from looking at it from this angle that it came with the sunshade and wind deflector detail installed already, which is really cool. A lot of times modelers have to add that stuff. All right, so looking at detail on the front of the model, one of the things that strikes me, a couple things really, the windshield wipers are so fine. Look how thin those are. Wow. And then it has a fully finished cab interior. It's kind of hard to see from outside because it has tinted windows on the side, and then looking in from the front is hard because the light doesn't get in there, but it's a fully detailed interior. The model also comes with working ditch lights, and we'll take a close look at the lights here later, as well as a snowplow, and these are all separately applied hose detail in there. Comes with a knuckle coupler, and of course, there's an MU cable here, and on the other side of the coupler, which I'll show you in a second, there's actually an air hose detail as well. Something else that's pretty remarkable is just how thin these wire grabs are on the front of the model. Here's the air hose I was talking about a minute ago. And then you have the grabs on the snowplow. Pretty cool. Also an uncoupling lever. And then the stairs and the step well, not only do they have what I call a safety stripe, that's that little thin pin stripe so people can see where they're stepping, but they're also see-through. Looks really cool. Here's a good look at the fireman's side. It looks like the AC unit here is a separately applied part, and the paint treatment on it is such that there's red on top, or I should say faded red on top. And then the grille detail on this side is just as good as it is on the other side. There's a separately applied brake wheel here. And it looks amazing. And then if you look, I'll tip it up again. If you look here, you'll see there's also a lot of undersill detail and truck detail on this side as well, including all this chain detail here on the rear truck on the fireman's side. And I mentioned a minute ago that this grille is see-through. As you can see my little pointer stick behind the locomotive there. And this darkened part here represents the fan inside those grills. Here's a look at the rear of the model, and you can see the detail similar, including super thin wire grabs up the back, as well as MU cable, uncoupling lever, see-through steps in the step well with that little pinstripe, and all the hose detail that we saw on the front is also present on the back. This is the last three-quarter view that we'll look at. I just wanted to point out that the air hose is right here. This is a pretty long model, so we'll take a look at the top in sections. We'll start here with the back of the model. You can see that there are separately applied wire grills over the top of the fan housing here. That looks really good. It gives the grill area a lot of depth. Also, something cool about this model is that the stack actually goes into the model pretty far. So you don't even have to necessarily color that with black paint if you don't want to. A lot of times the stack ends right here at the roof and you have to color it with black paint to make it look deep. Not true with this one. It goes down in there quite a ways. And then of course your horn casting is back here. And you can see a lot of the molded hatch detail on the back from this angle. It looks very good. And then here we have the front of the model. And I wanted to show you this just so that you could see the antenna array on the top of the cab. All right, so it's my favorite part. We're going to run this thing and see how it sounds and how it runs. All right, so here's how the lights work. The headlight is directional, and it comes on with your F0 key. The ditch lights come on with F6. And then the number boards and the running lights that are included come on when you turn the sounds on. So you'll see the number boards came on. There's a little running light down here behind the ditch lights in the nose area. And there's another running light on the side of the locomotive that lights up the stairwells. When you go into reverse, turns off all the front-facing headlights, but the number boards and running lights stay on. And these are the lights in the rear. You can see there's a rear headlight, and then there's a running light down here. So when I switch it back to forward, the running light stays on, but the headlight comes off. So the headlight is back on in the front now. And when you turn the sounds off, your running lights go off, as well as your number boards.
This is a really amazing model of a contemporary prototype. And I have to say that I really like all the additional LEDs. They have the little running light in the front and in the back. These add a level of realism for an out-of-the-box model that until now people had to modify their own locomotives to get. So I think ScaleTrains really knocked it out of the park with this model, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more. So good job, ScaleTrains. I'll see you next time.